Hey guys, welcome back to Yankee Valley Outdoors. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on our mature American chestnut trees. This will be the last update of the winter because spring is just around the corner. Even though today it's cold, it's windy, and doesn't feel like winter is over. It feels like fall, kind of, sort of. Yeah, it feels like, I say it feels like late fall right now. But without further ado, let's get right into our mature American chestnut tree update. Most of the time we start with this tree right here, a mature American chestnut tree that I'm pretty sure is 100% pure American chestnut that sadly succumbed to the blight a few years ago. We found it as it was losing the battle with the blight, but it had leaves on the top when it was discovered by my brother. He was taking a pee somewhere around here and he looked up and there was an American chestnut tree. I'm not sure which order it was in. I'm not sure if it was this one he found or the healthy one he found, but he found, I think it was this one he found first and then he found the other one. It was just, that day in my mind was amazing because it was just like, what? An American chestnut tree on our grandma's property? That's what was weird about the whole thing, is because it's like, really? After all this time, like, I was so into chestnuts and the American chestnut story and everything, and I never had seen an American chestnut before in person. But I was so amused to know that, like, there's an American chestnut. And then I went out and looked and I was amazed. And then I got the idea for making videos about it. And I'm sorry about the ramble, but you guys got to listen. I just thought about making a video about it. I made that video, and that video now has 40,000 views. And that's what kicked off a lot of my chestnut videos. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get right into the update. I'm sorry for the ramble. Please stick with me. As you can see, this tree was quite a warrior. Looks like a massive battle has been going on, which sadly the battle has been lost, but you don't usually see an American chestnut tree this big. I would guess that's like, what, like 60 feet, maybe 70 feet? Not sure how to judge the height, but just looking at how tall this tree is, that's, you don't usually see an American chestnut tree get that height. Yes, there's many out there that have gotten this height that no one knows about. They're out there, but it's pretty rare. As you can see, we have a ton of stump sprouts. They all keep getting eaten off by the deer, which eventually I think will cage this area or something and let one of these sprouts grow into a tree. And that'll be awesome, like how fast it'll grow, because it already has the roots in the ground, because the roots don't die from the blight. The blight does not affect the roots. So that's how the roots continue to send up shoots. That's how American chestnut trees that have died 120 years ago are still continuing to send up shoots. So let's say we put a fence around this and isolated one of these. It would grow up way faster than a tradition just planting a seed, because it already has an established root system under here. So with that out of the way, that's something we can do in the future. But this right here, I believe this is callus layer. This was the tree. I'm pretty sure this was the tree fighting back against the blight. And I guess this is the regular tissue. I mean, I could be wrong, guys, but this looks like callus layer to me. And I thought this from the beginning, as you can see right there. I'm pretty sure this is callus layer. This is the real tissue of the tree right here. So what happened was the blight was attacking and continuing to attack, and this tree just kept sealing up the wounds. But eventually, I guess it got too much for the tree, and the tree succumbed to its injuries. These could be blight wounds right here. I'm not sure, because there's no bark, so you can't really tell. But as you can see, there was a war going on with this tree. Let's go up the tree. As you can see, there's a ton of shoots. Let's go over here. This was the awesome thing about this tree. That right there is some blight tolerance. That is a fat canker. That means this tree was trying to fight back against the blight. This limb, this shoot that came up, was broken off by the wind, sadly. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. But just to show right here, just look, like it's able to produce callus to fight back. It stinks it broke, but here's a big one right here. Not sure if that's callus. That might be callus as well. So leaving this limb is trying to fight back. That's how this tree lasted so long. It probably had this blight for 10 years or something. I mean, we'll never know because we didn't know about it until, about 2 years ago or 3 years ago. As it's just, the blight's gonna continue until it finally girdles the rest of this piece right here that's left. I hope that limb lasts a few years. I mean, maybe it could get tall enough, you know, to produce nuts. Who knows? But just coming on this side, this tree was a warrior, as you can see right there. It was trying to fight back against the blight on the sides, but it just wasn't enough, and this tree sadly died. But that is a major improvement from all the trees immediately getting wiped out by blight. That shows that there are some trees that have a little bit of tolerance to the blight. I'm not saying this tree is resistant, no, but some tolerance, a little bit of tolerance. Let's say this tree was probably, I don't know, maybe 30 years old. It looks like a 30-year-old tree to me. Maybe it was 20. I mean, maybe if we cut it down, once that shoot dies, cut it down and then we can count the layers, and then we'll just have one of those shoots grow up into a new tree. But yeah, it's just, this tree was a warrior. It fought for years and then died. It's just, it's so cool to see that an American chestnut tree got this far with the blight. Right here we have our healthy mature American chestnut tree. This tree is continuing to grow in size and continuing to grow in height. I can see some burrs up there on the limbs that haven't fallen yet. Who knows, there could be a chestnut in them. Let's come over here. You guys can just see this tree is pretty big for an American chestnut tree. You don't usually see them this size. It's very, 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 very rare to see an American chestnut this size. It's kind of like finding a gold bar. That's like how rare it is to find a American chestnut tree this size. And I'm gonna keep repeating myself, sorry about that. But go up the tree. I don't see anything that concerns me really. I mean, there's some cracks. Some of these could be grow cracks and some of these could be blight. Not really sure, but the tree, every time there is one, it seems the tree is growing it shut. I believe this sunken area right here was blight, and it has recovered tissue in this hole. So that's awesome right there. What it looks like to me, let's say I might be jinxing myself or jinxing the whole tree, but what I think is this tree may have a similar tolerance to blight like the Chinese chestnuts, where it just seals it up. Because this tree is different than the other one. The other one is like, I guess like more like fat cankers. This one's more like just like close it. I could be wrong, but it's just a theory of mine. Right there, that's probably a grow crack. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's growing shut, so not worried about it. I really don't see anything that concerns me. I mean, there's some more cracks up here, but every time I see one, they just tend to shut. So I guess we just wait and see with this tree, but this is a big American chestnut tree. It's getting bigger than the other one now. And these trees are, just looking over the past 3 years, they're growing pretty fast. So they could be younger than I think. This could only be a 20-year-old tree. I mean, it looks like a 30-year-old tree or a 25-year-old tree. Who knows? But overall, this tree looks like it's doing relatively good. Nothing that concerns me that I see. As you can see, there's burrs all over the ground. And you guys are going to be very, very excited to see the offspring of this tree. We got 4 saplings, and then one we dug up over there last year. So those are definitely going to be used in our breeding project if they hold out and live and everything goes right. But American chestnut trees are hard to propagate because they have very weak roots. So when you transplant them, they tend to, they can die pretty easily. So you got to be very careful, and that's what I'll have to do when I take them out of the pots. But just looking at this tree, it's very magnificent to see an American chestnut tree growing in the wild. I'll flip the camera around so you guys can see it in a size comparison to a little short guy like me. I'm like 5'7", so, but you'll get the point in a second. All right, so in comparison to me, this tree is a relatively decent sized tree. I mean, look at this. Give the tree a hug right here. I'm not a tree hugger. I just, trees are my hobby. I love trees. I love nature. Do I go out and hug trees every day? No, but it's very awesome to be able to hug an American chestnut tree. But as you can see, this tree is as big as me. That's very, very cool. and very impressive. Very rare to see a mature American chestnut tree that I am pretty sure is 100% American chestnut. Some people want to claim that it's hybrid. I've seen those comments before, but I sincerely doubt this is a hybrid tree. The nuts, the leaves, everything point to it being American. Now the offspring we got, I'm not sure 100% what they are, because this tree, technically American chestnuts can pollinate themselves, which there was only a couple nuts, so that could be the case. But down there, like thousands of feet, there is some Chinese chestnuts. So could have it gotten up here? I mean, maybe, but the offspring seem to look like they're American chestnut. So I think either this tree pollinated itself or our little friend over there pollinated it. And we'll get to that in a minute. But overall, it's just awesome to see this tree growing in the woods. And hopefully it has many years to come and can produce a lot of nuts this year. That's what I'm hoping for this year. I'm really hoping that little tree back behind me is big enough to pollinate this year, so we get like 100 nuts. That would be so awesome, and it would just be incredible. Hopefully this tree can hold out for a long time. So without further ado, let's get on to our baby tree, which is very important to everything. Coming over here, if you are new here, these are maple trees. I think they're sugar maples. They are growing in the way and keeping our American chestnut, you can see the little one right there, keeping our American chestnut from being able to pollinate because they're shadowing the light. So the plan is we cut around the bases to kill these trees out. Those two, and these two. Problem is, they still had leaves on them last year, which was a bummer. I'm guessing there was just enough moisture in it, so that's what happened. And it looks like they're budded out again. My luck is really bad. So the plan is going to be to get these guys down. They're not very big, so you could almost take them out with a machete. Well, that's a little big for a machete, but yeah, they're in the way. They got to go, because I want this year to be the year that our American chestnut tree over here is able to produce. And see this little guy? It's got to have space. So that's got to go because it's shadowing light. That one's got to go because it's shadowing light. Those actually might be dead. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if those are buds or what. But yeah, gotta go. And this tree right here, our American chestnut tree, can go up. That oak's not really a problem because the American chestnut can go out that hole right there once these other two trees are gone. But let's get to the stem of the tree. Looking around the tree, I don't see any blight wounds, which is very cool. Going up the tree, I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all. There's little cracks, but I think these are grow cracks. I don't see any orange or anything. So overall, this tree is doing great. I mean, it looked like it had more cracks before, which could have been grow cracks. There's a little crack right there. Well, there's nothing big. This tree is really doing great. I mean, it is winter, so I don't think the blight spreads in the winter, but overall, like, this tree is doing incredible. And this is probably the offspring of that one over there and then the one that died. So it probably has it could have double the resistance or tolerance. Even finding an American chestnut this size it happens, but it's even rare because usually when they get this size, they die back to the ground. I've seen ones that don't have any tolerance, and by the time they get this size, they're dead. But even this right here is rare, and it's just very cool to find, especially one you don't see any like wounds on the stem. And people may say there's not blight in this area. Well, the blight killed that tree over there, so who knows? It's just very cool. It's just very cool to see this, to see an American chestnut tree, many American chestnut trees. This tree is very important. Hopefully it can pollinate our healthy tree that's only like 60 feet away this year, and we will have a whole bucket full of nuts. Let's just hope for the best. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get to our final two trees that are down over the hill. Coming down over the hill, we have another one of our American chestnut trees. This one is the weakest of all the trees, other than the dead one, obviously. But this is the weakest of our American chestnut trees. It's pretty small. The good thing is it has a brother very close by. But this tree sadly has a problem. Looks like a blight problem that is very bad. As you can see, there is dark all over the bark. It just looks like it's infected. Although there's no wounds, this tree I would say definitely has the blight, and it has it bad. Well, I wouldn't say it has it bad because the tree's not dead, but, well, I mean, we'll see this year. But yeah, it's not, it don't look too healthy. It's kind of, like down here, that looks pretty healthy, but well, I don't know about right there. Don't know if that's rot or what. But yeah, just kind of looks sick. Seeing all that dark spots. There's more dark right here, and then more up the tree. So that's not really good. It's kind of, this one I don't think would be one that would be usable for breeding if it ever gets to the point of being able to have nuts on it, because it doesn't like look really too healthy. I mean, when you go up the tree, there's no like cracks, but down low right here, it kind of looks sick. Who knows though? I mean, it could have some good tolerance or something, but overall it just doesn't look very appealing to me. Who knows though? I didn't see the other trees of this size, so. All right, guys, let's get on to its brother. But this tree right here, hopefully, has a long future ahead of it. Coming down the hill, we have the tree's brother or sister. Well, actually, no, that's not good to call it a brother or sister because they're gonna be breeding together. But it's friend. I don't know. Well, let's come over here and look at the stem of this one. Okay, we got more black right here, more dark. That may not be blight. I'll have to do my research because I'm not really sure what that is. But there's a lot of dark on this stem. But there's no cracks on this stem that I can see, really. I mean, there's some little ones down there, but as you go up the tree, I don't really see any. I'm really thinking this is blight. It's starting to look like blight to me. But as you go up, there's nothing that's really concerning. There's a bug right there in that hole. Should probably kill that so it can't like do anything. Okay, dead bug. But yeah, this one's not as bad. There's definitely some like dark spots. I'm not sure if that is blight or what that is, but it's not too bad on this tree. I mean, I don't see any cracks on this tree that are big or anything. The other tree's covered, but this one probably is a little bit better of genetics overall. This is usually the size you find American chestnuts. Like this is the average usually that they get to and then they die. About this big. I've seen them like usually about this size, but when they die, if they have no tolerance at all. So even this tree right here is starting to become rare to be this size. But this one, it'll have a big hole I can shoot out right there. Overall, this one's looking relatively good. Nothing that really concerns me. This update I would say is good on this tree. The other one, I think it was black and blue last time we saw it, so nothing's really changed. But overall, it's just awesome to see American chestnut trees, and hopefully this tree has a bright future in our breeding program. Well guys, that is our last American chestnut update for the winter. Showed you guys the trees. We got a pretty good update overall. Nothing's changed too much since our last update, but everyone loves to look at these trees and see how they're doing. And I really appreciate all the people that watch these videos, and I love making these videos. And I just love coming out here in the woods and seeing the trees. And it gives me a reason to go out here, so. All right, guys, I think that's about it for this video. We are only like 80 watch hours from monetization. So hopefully this video right here throws us over the top. So watch this video, watch some other videos the whole way through. Let's rake up those watch hours. And even if you want to turn that playlist on, I have a Let's Get Monetized playlist. You want to turn that on overnight and just turn it off in the morning, that'd be okay with me. There's a Squidward video in there for some reason, which I don't know how I got it added in my playlist. I'll have to delete it, but I think it's kind of funny, so I haven't deleted it yet. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, don't forget to drop a like on this video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe for more content. And as always, keep it electrified. I'll see y'all later.